Hey Gemini, welcome to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Tonight I'm going to be doing your love and separation read for the month of July. I wanted to say thank you, subscribers, for your continued support of the channel. I truly appreciate you guys and your support. It means the world to me. New subscribers, welcome to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Thanks for taking a chance on us. And cross-watchers, come on in. Let's see if we can get Gemini a good read. Okay, Gemini, we have communication regarding a foundation and relationship. This communication may be kind of matter of fact and to the point. It might be a little bit cold. So I'm sure there's a reason for that, but may watch your phrasing, your tone. It looks like, yeah, there's a little bit of heartbreaking element to the communication that you're going to be having. So let's see what the cards have to say. Bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. So that is creating balanced decisions, making balanced choices, but also utilizing the tools that the universe has given you in order to make those decisions. You have what you need to make a decision. Whoa. Keep wanting to flip over at that point. Okay, you have Gemini, the Knight of Cups. So some of you could be dealing with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, okay? But this is a romantic offer of love. So either you want to receive that or you want to give that. Okay, there we go. Your lover has the Four of Swords, or maybe this is you, Gemini. As an air sign, swords represent air signs. So this is a general read. Switch it how you need to. What I see is Gemini, perhaps you want to take a break from a relationship. Perhaps there's an emotional issue that needs to be addressed, and you just kind of want some downtime. Your partner looks like they want to come in with an offer of love that you might not be quite ready for. So hence the Magician and making balanced choices. And this, I think, might mean making a balanced choice for your own self. Okay, your lover's blocks are the Five of Cups and the Six of Wands. So, you know, something didn't move forward according to plan, okay, and your partner's depressed about that. They're very confused. You see that labyrinth on the top of his head there. Figuring this situation out is like a maze, okay? They're quite confused, Gemini. The block is they want forward movement. They want victory moving forward, but it doesn't look like that's what they're getting. Gemini, your blocks are the Eight of Swords moving forward. So you guys know I don't do reversals. I very rarely do reversals because I pull enough cards in the deck that the message comes out whether it's upright or upside down or sideways or whatever. Eight of Swords is kind of like a self-imposed victim mentality. In this card, it looks like, you know, the swords are trying to fight back this incoming emotional storm that's headed your way. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, it looks like you need a break. And your block is there's some emotional issues here, some sort of emotional confusion, some sort of victimization here. Something emotionally, some sort of victimizing communication. So let's see what the blocks between the two of you are. So the blocks between the two of you is the Page of Wands. So basically, this could be, you know, children. There's a block between the two of you that involves children, or there's a sexual block here, okay? Or there's a block of the spark of newness, starting something new. You know, maybe the thrill is gone. Maybe there's some sexual issues here. You know, and this card does depict a coffin. You know, so maybe something's kind of dead. You know, maybe the passion died. You know, maybe something happened there. Okay, so we've got the potential final outcome is the Emperor, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So there could be money issues in this situation. I don't feel like that's what it is. I kind of feel like this is about sex and communication. Perhaps there's a lack of intimacy, which is affecting the sex life. I think that really what's going to end up happening here is that somebody's just going to kind of move up and on. Okay, some of you could be dealing with Earth at this point. I think somebody's just going to kind of take their money and move on up. You see my dog back there? That's Skywalker. She's you know, making her rounds, making sure everybody's okay. I think somebody's just going to be moving up. Now, this is an offer of a solid beginning. I think that somebody, Aries, okay, or Taurus also is here, but somebody's just going to kind of take control of the situation and kind of move up, or kind of offer something a little more solid, move away perhaps. Okay, the Magician's clarified by the Two of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So this could be about money. It could be about somebody not understanding how finances work and not, you know, somebody spending all the money. But I think somebody's trying to make a decision about placing their value in the relationship based on somebody's financial prowess, okay? In other words, why somebody's trying to figure out here, the Magician, trying to figure out how to balance the checkbook, trying to figure out how to make it work, trying to, you know, make it to payday or whatever, because somebody's not using the money appropriately. For some of you, for others of you, this is making a decision to move forward. Is this going to represent equal give and take for me? Is this going to be fair for me? What's going to happen moving forward? Somebody's kind of in their head about maybe past circumstances in the relationship that didn't seem quite giving, okay, quite fair. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Three of Swords. So there's a lot of sword action in this read, okay? Not a lot of wand action, and more importantly, not a lot of cup action. So your partner has gotten their heart broken, okay? And their heart has gotten broken because it's the end of the relationship, maybe the beginning of something else, but as it stands now, kind of the end. And the Six of Cups is an end of a soulmate relationship, and your partner's heartbroken about that because they considered you a soulmate. I definitely feel like some of you are dealing with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Something is coming to a close. The end of someone's world. Four of Swords is clarified by the Seven of Cups. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this just talks about apathy, not moving, depression, sadness, okay? You know, it's just before the Eight of Cups here where, I'm sorry, this, excuse me, I had this totally wrong. Let's just edit that part out. This is the Nine of Cups. So with this card here, I think you're happy taking a break. Okay, I think you're needing to take a break. There's some things going on in an inner fashion for you that you've got to take a break from this. I think you feel like that this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is your happiness. You know, they feel like you're their soulmate. They feel like you're their world. And I think you feel the same way, Gemini. But for some reason, you're needing to take a break from this situation. Yeah, definitely Scorpio energy, Gemini. Again, you with the Scorpios. No, Justice. You know, I'm sorry, you guys, excuse me. There is an issue with fairness, balance. There's an imbalance with money here. There's an imbalance in communication. There's an imbalance in the roles in this relationship. As somebody has too much control, someone else doesn't have enough. And so, you know, there needs to be balance in this situation. And I think that's what you're looking for, Gemini. You're looking for balance. You're stepping back outside of this situation. You're trying to look at this situation objectively because it's too much. If something has gotten out of control and you need to take a step back and look at it from a realistic viewpoint, an objective viewpoint, and that's what you're trying to do to bring balance back. You've got two cards that indicate that balance needs to be had in this situation with money and with communication. Okay, yeah, so your partner, you know, the block for them was the forward movement. There wasn't forward movement. I don't think they understood why it wasn't moving forward. They're heartbroken because they feel like this is ended. And they wanted forward movement. They're not getting it, so they're really confused. But there's a lot of enlightenment that needs to be had. Your partner needs to kind of be enlightened, and you need to communicate with your partner why this is a delayed issue. This is Pisces energy now. So they don't understand what the delay is, basically. They're like, well, how come we're not, this isn't going anywhere? How come we're not moving forward? I think maybe there might be an issue with sex in this relationship. Maybe there's something that's not quite equal in the bedroom that you would like to rectify. Maybe there's an issue with children. Yeah, so somebody's kind of swallowing their words. Gemini, you're not communicating with your partner. There's an element here that there's not intimacy being created. You can have sex all day long with people. But if there's no intimacy in the relationship, then it's just sex, okay? If there's no connection, okay, then it's just sex. And it looks like maybe you're looking for some sort of a connection. If you're dealing with a Scorpio or you're dealing with water signs, there's cups over here for your partner. Basically the best policy for you here, if you're dealing with water, is to communicate. Not in a nasty fashion, because they'll clam up and throw you right back out. But, they may be seeking a deeper connection from you, Gemini, and you're seeking a deeper connection, and it's just not happening. And the reason it's not happening, Gemini, is because you're not speaking up. And if this is an issue in the bedroom with water signs, then maybe there's something wrong, okay? Because that's generally not an idea for water, having issues in the bedroom. But you're not communicating this, and the passion in this relationship has grown cold. And I think it's because, Gemini, you're not speaking up. You're not speaking up about something that your partner's doing, or a lack of something here. Or perhaps, Gemini, for you, this relationship was not as deep for you as it was for your partner. And maybe you've kind of grown bored. It looks like communication. You're going to try to communicate with your partner. You're going to try to communicate with your partner and offer something more solid. You're going to offer more solid communication. I kind of feel like you're gonna take the courage that you need to do that. But also, I kind of get a feeling like, Gemini, you're ready for something new. I think you've grown bored here. So maybe that's why, here you're depicted communicating with your partner. But here, you look like you're moving on because you're a little bit bored. You're gathering up your things and you're just kind of moving on. So, I think that if you want to save the situation, you're going to have to take control, communicate with your partner, explain to them the lack of intimacy, whatever deep connection here that you're both looking for, you're not getting. Perhaps your partner's looking for a deeper connection from you, and it's just not there. And if that's the case, you just, you kind of need to tell your partner what the situation is. Universe, show me, how does Gemini's partner feel about Gemini? Show me, how does Gemini's partner feel about Gemini? Your partner feels like, either you or your partner. I said, how does your partner feel about you? But it looks like your partner's kind of getting crushed by the weight of this, okay? This is the Nine of Pentacles. This is, security, contentment, financial security. But in this card, it kind of looks like your partner is being crushed by the weight of something. And this could be a financial weight. Maybe they want more equal give and take in the realms of finances. Looks like they want to nurture this situation. They have feelings for you. They want to nurture this. And, they're trying to offer you something, but for some reason, this is unbalanced and your partner feels crushed under the weight of everything. And, they want to transform this situation. Some of you are dealing with water. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Your partner wants to transform this situation. Your partner wants to build. They want to get married. They want to have a family. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, why, I'm not as into this as my partner is. And if you're not getting what you need, you're going to have to communicate that. So let's get some oracles on it and kind of see what they have to say. Bottom of the deck, we have like attracts like. What did I just get through saying? It's so crazy. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. So, Gemini, if you are longing for a more intimate connection, a deeper connection in this relationship, then you need to give that because you get what you give. And you need to impress that upon your partner. But also, it says you need to be more loving. So your partner is completely in love with you and they're ready to sacrifice for you. They're ready to nurture this relationship with you. They are ready to move forward and have a family with you. They don't understand what the delay is here. So if you want a deeper connection, you're going to have to exhibit that for yourself. Consider your foundation, okay? There is financial issue here. There is some financial issue here that's blocking this situation from coming back together. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. So you're being asked to look at your willingness to commit to this situation. You're being asked to look at how committed are you to this and how long are you going to be committed to it? This talks about solid foundation. We have the house here in the background. Your partner wants to build a family with you. But in order to build, you have to have a solid foundation to do that. And There is a lot of shakiness in this foundation. The union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. So, I mean, clearly your partner's super in love with you. I think you love your partner. I think there are communication and financial problems. I think that the sex is off because of those. But this is definitely a union that is worth fixing. Okay, it's worth swallowing your pride and letting your ego die and saying, you know what, here's the deal. Our communication's shit. We really need to straighten out our finances. We can't go anywhere until we straighten out our communication and finances. And I'm not feeling an emotional, intimate connection here. We need to work on those things because I think this relationship is worth it. So you're being called to communicate, Gemini, plain and simple, with your partner. I don't think your partner has any clue what's going on here. So you got to speak up. My hands don't want to work with my brain tonight. My mouth doesn't want to work with my brain either. Relationship harmony. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Your partner is absolutely willing to meet you, wherever that is, whatever that means. They're giving you the opportunity. They're giving this to you. They're saying, here's my heart. You know, do what you want to with it, right? Because I love you and I trust you. So, opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now, yes. But you also have to do some work too. And this blue represents the throat chakra. So I'm blocking that throat chakra, communicating in a state of love, with an idea of love, proactively communicating is what's necessary here. You're gonna have to communicate. Your partner's willing to meet you wherever they need to. You know, switch it around if it's the other way around, okay? But it looks like your partner's willing to meet you where you need to be met, and you just have to communicate your needs. You know, sometimes if we don't communicate our needs, we expect our partners to be telepathic. Well, you know, unless you're twin flame and you have been having telepathic communication for quite a few years, that's just not a possibility in a relationship, right? On a 3D level, you know, you have to communicate. And we can't blame our partner, okay, when we're not getting our needs met if we're not willing to express to our partner and communicate. Now, if you're in a situation in which you've been communicating to your partner, you've been telling your partner this for like 100 years and they're like not getting it, then, you know, then they're being called to act on that. What are they going to do about it? And if you're in that situation, then I can totally understand taking a step back and looking at it and saying, you know what, I don't know if my partner's understanding me, if they're ever going to be able to meet my needs because they're not hearing me. But if we don't communicate that to our partner, that we have a need, then we can't blame our partner if we're not getting that need met. Now, if they ignore us and they don't act on it and they don't feel like it's important for them to acknowledge it, then yes, that is their fault. But you're also called to do something about it too. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to tolerate it. So, but if you're not communicating what your needs are, you can't blame your partner if they're not meeting those needs. I love life. It is my birthright to live fully and freely. It is my birthright to live fully and freely. I give to life exactly what I want life to give to me. I give to life exactly what I want life to give to me. To give to get. I give to my partner exactly what I want my partner to give to me. I communicate with my partner the exact way I want my partner to communicate with me. I am glad to be alive. I love life. So, communication skills. And anyone who tells you that you're nagging them, you know, and they're tired of hearing it because I hear this all the time and they're always on their ass about it. That's a person who doesn't validate your feelings. And you can't make love with someone. You can't build a life with someone. You can't have a future and be appreciated and be a full, complete person with someone who invalidates you. So if you're in a situation like that, then, you know, you need to express to your partner that your feelings are valid, no matter if your partner acknowledges them or not, and you're going to do what you have to do to meet your needs. So don't get caught up in invalidation because you've communicated to your partner and they've decided not to acknowledge you. Some people get caught up in that too with communication. Because they don't have the right to validate your feelings, you validate yourself, okay? Just because they don't think it's a real thing doesn't mean it isn't. I mean, some people don't think dinosaurs exist, and then I wonder how they figure out we get gasoline, but that's another story altogether. Okay, here and now. Gemini, 3 and 2 break down to 5, so there might be sudden changes in your here and now, in your present moment. But I think you're also being called to make a change in your present moment. You're being called to look at the present moment. Not what it used to be, not what it could be in the future, but what it is right now. And you've got to start at this moment right now in the present in order to fix what the problem is. But you can't fix a problem with two people by yourself, okay? So you and your partner are both going to have to put in the work. Putting in the work will land you in the land of milk and honey. We have soulmate energy, 6, divine guidance, a powerful number, 6. So, communication, forward movement, because you can't have this if you don't communicate and move forward. Mending. Maybe there's some mending that needs to be done here. Okay, so mend what needs to be mended, communicate, move forward, because you love each other, your partner loves you, they're willing to meet you, but there's some problems with the communication. Victory and success popped over when I was doing the shuffling. This is also a number 6, soulmate action, divine guidance, crown chakra. Listen to your intuition. Okay, patience and planning. This is a divine relationship, a divine spiritual relationship. Here are the 2 pillars. Here you are, the yin and the yang. Okay, this is red representing your foundation. So working on your foundation and patience and planning. Well, in order to have patience and planning, you have to have 2 active parties. And you have to come together and plan together and make it work moving forward. So there is an element here that may indicate that one of you needs to kind of be proactive in the situation. Be proactive with the communication or whatever the situation calls for. But you both have to be present in order to get that done. You know, we did talk about there being problems in the bedroom, okay? Perhaps maybe for some of you, there's issues with sex. You know what I see when I'm shuffling these cards, I get real clumsy shuffling them. Maybe somebody's technique is kind of clumsy. Maybe somebody wants a little more smoothness. Maybe you're not connecting physically because there's too much clumsiness. Okay, yeah. All right, bam. We have the Knight of Swords, so intimacy is an issue. It looks like to me that, somebody wants to be in control and somebody wants to be submissive. Somebody wants to be in control because they have a wall up and they don't want to allow their feelings to come out. They don't want to be vulnerable to this situation because they're afraid of they're going to be rejected, right? But also this talks to me about more about the sexual activity itself than it does about the lovemaking, the romance, the passion, the intimacy, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. In a situation like this, there's a lot of trust that needs to be called for in order to be able to do this kind of thing, right? You have to trust your partner to do this. People get that kind of backwards, in these kind of situations. There's a lot of trust that goes into this. But this is seemingly very cold to me, right? And maybe there's too much of this game playing, role playing, fetishes. Somebody needs to understand their desires, what gets them off, needs to go beyond this, okay? There needs to be intimacy interjected into the situation. So for some of you, that might be the problem in the bedroom. That cycle needs to come to a close, okay? Because there needs to be intimacy. Again, the Magician, somebody needs to kind of bring some balance. So here's what I'm saying, okay? This is great, yes. But there needs to be a balance brought to this situation. There needs to be more warmth interjected into this. You can still have this, but you need to balance it out with some intimacy as well. So intimacy, okay? This is the Seven of Cups, but, we're not talking about somebody walking away at this point. What we're talking about is intimacy, a balance, okay? The Magician's here represented here twice, so there needs to be a balance in between these two energies in the bedroom. This is good, but you need to have some of this too. So Gemini, that's what I have for you for your love and separation. In the bedroom, you need to have a balance between the two. Communication needs to be had. This situation is absolutely fixable. Your partner's willing to do whatever they need to do to fix it, or you. So come together, communicate, and create a balance. And I'll see you guys at the beginning of August.